You're live.
It's about time. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the 3 to 7 podcast. We're glad you're here. We don't have Brooke in the studio today. She's in a stir about Thanksgiving. Y'all don't know anybody else that's in a stir about Thanksgiving?
You mean gathering up food and
well,
supplies
the house,
and tidying up the house?
Yeah, the house has to be perfectly clean. You got to have all this stuff, right? So... do y'all know anybody else like that? Or is that,
yeah.
Okay.
That's everybody.
Yeah. I went to the grocery store 2 days ago. All I wanted was a pack of ground beef. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to make me a hamburger. Went to the grocery store. You couldn't even move in there, dude. I mean, people were like nearly running you over with their cart, and that was 2 days ago. It's wild, man.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the holidays a little bit. We know some of us in here, tech guy over there, he's got some pretty strong opinions on these holidays. So now that we're getting into them, we're going to talk about these holidays. Yeah, and I don't know if any of y'all listen to the podcast on the Apple app, the podcast app. I don't know what happened to the logo, but it switched from the 307 Project logo to a tent. Just some random tent. So I have now switched it back, and hopefully it's updating for y'all. So just let y'all know there's nothing wrong with that. Blake, you got any announcements this morning before we get into the show?
Well, this is Corn's 1 year anniversary.
Whoa, Bob.
Pretty close, at least, I'm going to go ahead and say. That's a pretty big announcement.
1 year anniversary of what?
Well, it's CrossFit.
If you're going to announce it, how about you announce it?
And he started CrossFit about the same time he started here, so we're going to call it today as 1 year anniversary.
Oh, this is 1 year at 307 Project?
Yep.
Congratulations, Cornbread.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you got called out this morning in the gym for your 1 year anniversary.
I did.
How about that? Krista says, so what have you enjoyed about CrossFit? He said, well, I kind of enjoy it when I come up in here, the mornings that I do. I said, yeah, roger that, Cornbread. Thanks for that inspirational word.
Hey, I ain't there to inspire nobody.
Yeah, you are, Corn. That's where you're wrong. Yeah, you are. So that's one announcement. The other announcement is we're getting that proving ground. It's going to be the next big thing.
Proving ground's the next big thing?
We got
January ROP, but
Well, that's pretty much full. I mean, we'll still
both
take
pretty
it.
much full. We'll take a few more applications, but
Yeah, but that proving ground, we still got a few spots in it.
How would you describe the proving grounds, Chili, for people that are listening?
well, I'm asked to describe it a lot, and I'm more of the math guy, as you said. I mean, I don't think I'm the math guy, but you said I'm more of the math guy.
You're pretty good with numbers. I mean, in comparison to me.
Not so good with words and writing.
Yeah,
That's
or
you.
artistic stuff.
So to ask me to put it into words is difficult, but I have been asked a lot lately, and I've been working on that. And I usually start, ironically, with the ROP course. The ROP course is as simple as it gets. Eat, drink, and move. It's the most physically demanding course at 3 of 7 Project. On the other hand, the proving ground is the most mentally complex. We go deep into instruction on a variety of topics such as land navigation and what have you.
Yeah, that's good.
That's how I describe
That's
it.
good. Yeah.
Very fast paced.
What about you, Cornbread? How would you describe the proving grounds?
Somebody asked me at the race
You led into that just like I did.
to explain the proving grounds. I said, well, as being a former student and also being an instructor there, this is how I explained it. I said, you get hit with a sledgehammer right off the bat. Well, pow! And you get to back up, get some instruction, and watch that sledgehammer constantly close in on you until it hits you again. And that lasts the whole weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such a great course. I can't wait till that weekend, man. I cannot wait till the weekend of the proving grounds. It's been so long because we only run one a year for the public. We have for the past couple of years run an extra one for a private group, but we only run one a year for the public. And it's one of the highlights of my year in terms of the training season anyways, because it is so complex and, there's a lot going on and there's a lot that's learned there. a lot of really foundational things around leadership and communication and teamwork and even personal growth and assessment. Just, seeing where you are at physically, seeing how well you can learn. That's another thing. I think as adults, our minds get dull because we kind of get settled into something, right? And it's not often that we have to learn a brand new skill that maybe we've never learned before, or maybe we haven't touched it in years and years. And, it's good to see how sharp you still are. How can you pick stuff up? How can you take on information and actually then go and apply it immediately in a real scenario, And it really, really sharpens you. That weekend sharpens you. Now, don't think if you're coming to the Proving Grounds, please do not think that because Chili said the ROP is the most physically demanding, don't think the Proving Grounds isn't physically demanding, because I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, by the end of the Proving Grounds, you know what I'm ready to do? Lay in the daggone bed for about a day and a half. I mean, it wears me out, man. It's long, long days into nights and, physically demanding. And then plus the mental demand that course requires. I think the combination of those two really pile up to be a pretty exhausting, challenging experience, right?
Yeah.
So Proving Grounds is going down in February, right?
Yep, February 7 through 9.
You'll take a few more applications for it. And if you guys want to join. If you've already been accepted, then I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to train with you. To hopefully impart something to you that's going to help you or challenge you or cause you to grow, and it's going to be a wonderful experience. So, Chili, you talking about the sale?
Oh yeah, thanks, Blake. We call it a Black Friday sale, but that's that's what we call it. But
This sounds racist to me, man.
But it's really,
is there something else that we can call this?
Well,
White Friday.
Well,
White Friday
we
sale?
did toss around the idea of White Friday, and we also got told that sounded racist. So
Why don't you just call it, you can't call it Orange Friday because Donald Trump's orange. Yeah. What's a color that no person is?
Yellow belly.
No, you got yellows.
Yeah.
Blue? Let's call it Blue Friday.
Blue Friday.
That way we don't have to worry about getting accused of racism.
Blue Friday.
We got a Blue Friday sale coming up.
We call it Blue Friday, but it's actually starts and ends a little bit different than that. But we put it out on the newsletter. You only got to get access to the discount to the sale if you're on the newsletter and you have the code.
How do they sign up for the newsletter?
Well, go onto the website. It's pretty dang self-explanatory.
Okay.
We got a big thing right there.
Yeah, if you can't figure it out, you just...
You can't have the newsletter.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so we put out the code early last week. If you didn't get it, there's still time to get it. They come out every Sunday, so you can sign up now and then get this one coming out this coming Sunday and still have a little bit of time left for the sale.
Blue Friday sale coming
Blue
up,
Friday
guys. Go on, get you some, man. We appreciate all the support that you guys give us here at 307 Project. It means a lot to us that you guys are sporting the gear and the swag all over the country, all over the world now. That Chili took 3.5 years to get up the international shipping up, but it is up now.
He had to marry a woman that knew how to do it.
Yeah. Yep. But that's really cool, man. When we first,
It's true, isn't it?
you remember when Jesse got us our first batches of T-shirts and our T-shirt designs, man?
Let's think about that.
Do you remember how silly that felt? Like, what are we gonna do with these T-shirts?
Yeah.
Like, it was his idea. Like, because that's part of Jesse's formula. If you guys don't know, my friend Jesse Itzler, he's a highly successful entrepreneur, but part of his formula, if you watch how he creates a new business or a new brand, he comes up with the idea, and then he comes up with some artwork around it, and then he just starts printing it on T-shirts and hats and stuff, and it becomes something real and tangible to people. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he kind of led us in that direction. I don't think if it was Blake or I don't think we would have ever thought or maybe it would have took us a long time to think, oh man, we should have some T-shirts made or some hats made, or that way we can have some cool designs, and people that are connected with us can be a part of this. You know what I mean? We would have take a long time to have thought about that. But Jesse, it was like his first thing. Oh yeah, you guys are starting 307 project? All right, I got this guy. Let me help you with some design work. Let me go ahead and get you a batch of your first T-shirts printed out. And I think he got us like $7,000 worth of shirts or something, man.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. I mean, he's one of the most generous people that I know. He really is, man. And you know what? It is so funny to me how much people hate on people that have money like that. You know what I mean? They hate on them, man. They think there's no way that guy could have gotten that amount of money without stepping on people, without cheating people, without constantly screwing people over. Now, are there rich people who did do that to get rich? I'm sure that there probably is, right? But it is a flawed way of thinking if you think that everyone out there who has acquired wealth over the course of their life and career is just some ugly human being who has cheated other people in order to get where they are. You know what you are when you think like that? You are a socialist. That's what you are. You don't believe that people should be able to work hard, and the amount that you have is requisite to the effort that you're willing to put in and the risk that you're willing to take. So your whole idea of, no one should ever accumulate that much wealth, because if you do, you should be giving it away to the people who don't. Let me tell you what happens if you give a bunch of money to a poor person. It will destroy them. You can't. The only way that you can wield wealth is to grow it over time and work your freaking butt off for it. That's the only way you can wield it. And Jesse is just an example of a guy who has accumulated massive wealth, but is so generous. If there is a need, he will meet that need. Like I hit him up the other day when everything was going on in North Carolina. Said, Jesse, I got a buddy who's got a nonprofit. He's headed out there to do a bunch of work in North Carolina. They need this amount of money, big amount of money, like not nothing to sneeze at. All right. He said, Roger that. So quit freaking thinking that people who have accumulated wealth and worked their butt off and took a bunch of risks to do it are just scum of the earth people, man. No, a lot of these people are doing really good things. And I said on my truck talk the other day, what's good about accumulating wealth? The good part is you can take care of the people you love, right? Your friends, your family. You can meet a need for others when that need is identified, right? And it doesn't stress you out. You're just able to meet that need, at least to some level, requisite with how much wealth you've accumulated. You can meet those needs. Now, you can't meet everyone in the world's needs, right? Or else you'll just you'll have nothing again. But you can meet those needs. And the third reason it's good is because it opens up your life to where you can spend time doing the things that you're passionate about doing, which changes everything, by the way. I was having that conversation with you guys the other day. I think one of our superpowers at 307 Project is we've been responsible with our money. We've never went into debt. None of us take a massive salary. We all live a very, I'd say standard way of life, right? But what that allows us to do is it allows us to do what the crap we want to do. And if we went out here, and I would love to have a building in downtown Rome, to have a gym, and I'm working toward that. I dream about that, have been for years. I'm working toward that. But if we went and bought that right now, it would change, the debt would change the way we operate. Then we would be trying to cater what we do to what we think people want, instead of just being ourselves and being able to have fun and operate naturally, which ultimately is going to produce the best result over the course of span of time, right? So it does a lot of things, man. And I've just, you know what? No, I do understand people who hate on people who have worked and accumulated wealth. I do understand that. You know how I understand it? How I understand that? Because when I was younger, there were times I did the same thing. I would look at one particular man that I used to work for, and I'd say, oh man, like, he's just greedy. He's just got to be greedy. You know what I mean? Why ain't he giving me more of that? You know, so I do get it. Not just to hit on y'all, but I'm thankful that my mind has changed around that.
Well, that's coveting is all that is. I mean,
Yeah.
really it is. You're just wanting what they have, and you're mad because you don't have it. So you think, well, they could pay me a lot more, but there they are just hoarding it all. And you're coveting what they have. That's what it is in the end.
Yeah. I am finally to the point in my life where I think I'm mature. I'm mature enough for the most part that I am really happy when I see people who are successful. Like, I'm genuinely happy for them. Our buddy Edgar Mills started a podcast. I was so happy to see that. Like, I'm so happy when I see people around me that I care about growing and creating new things and trying new things. You know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be super successful. I mean, it's just like, yeah, man, that's awesome. You're trying something new. And I understand starting a podcast, there's a big learning curve to doing that. Like, we're blessed because we've been doing it for years. We're all set up. But like, I saw Edgar started a podcast. It made me so happy. Like, I sent him a message and said, hey, Edgar, congratulations on the podcast, man. Stick with it. It will help people, because I'm genuinely happy he did that, you know? And I don't know, man. Like, I guess it took me a long time to get here, though. So I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just saying, assess yourself and how you look at other people, because you don't freaking know, man. You don't know. And this doesn't just apply to people with money. This applies to people across the board, man. You don't know what the crap that joker had to do or had to go through to get to where they are. You don't freaking know.
Right.
You don't have a clue. You
Or
know?
what they're still doing.
What they're still doing.
Yeah, I'd seen it. The company I used to work for, the individual who owned it, started out driving a garbage truck out of a pickup truck. It's garbage service, and has come up to however many millions he has now or whatever. But, you know, out of the covenant and people being jealous of him, second guess everything that he does as if he's stupid. And you can see it changes their way of thinking to not learn from what he's doing and try to do the opposite of what he wants done or whatever. And it's almost like failure after failure after failure, which then leads to, hey, you ought not have been doing that. You need to do. Well, he just thinks he knows everything because he's got so much money. It is
That's such a shame, man.
Vicious cycle, dude. A vicious cycle.
Yeah, it is. And it's interesting that you say that, Corn, because it's like they're missing out on an opportunity. It's like, here they have a boss in front of them who obviously has a resume of being success. You don't get successful by accident.
That's right.
And you don't get successful just purely by hard work.
Yeah.
It has to be hard work, skill, and some smart decisions, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have a boss like that, maybe you think maybe this guy ain't paying you what you think you deserve. Maybe this guy maybe he's a butthead to you, you know? You don't know what he's dealing with, first of all, but nonetheless, you have an example of somebody in front of you who you can probably learn some things from. You can probably take away from some of the things that decisions he's made, mistakes he's made, and you'd probably be real surprised at how willing that person would be to share those things with you if you went and asked them about it.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I don't know, man. I think it's a good talk to have. It's a good reminder for people, and hopefully it makes some of you guys think. Nonetheless, some people you can't change, and that's all right too. Which leads me into I have a question for you guys from my segment today. I was walking with my wife last night, and she told me, she said, Chad, I think you're going to have a lot of regrets in life if you keep operating the way you're operating. And what she was talking about is, you guys who are close to me, you know how I live my life. And this is, if I could say one thing God ingrained in me through my military career, it's this way of living my life, all right? The way that I live, have been living, and I'm not defending it, by the way. This is just how I operate, how my mind ticks. The people in my life that I am doing life with, that I'm collaborating with, that I'm growing with, that I'm innovating with, that I'm having meaningful conversation with, right? Like you guys, right? And my wife, like, I think I do a pretty good job at loving those people very well. Like, honest to God, there's nothing that I wouldn't do for you guys. I don't care what, like, if it came down to it, like, there's no amount of money I wouldn't give you if you actually needed it. There's nothing that I wouldn't help you accomplish if it's something that you came to me and you were like, Chad, I want to accomplish this. Like, nothing. And same with Blake, same with my wife. But as I have moved through different phases of my life, as I move through life, I leave a lot of people behind who meant something to me at the time, and maybe even poured a lot into me, right? During that season of my life. But as I moved through, I just leave people behind. You know what I mean? And so that is exactly the way that I operated in the military. That's the way we had to operate. Every few years, things changed. And you know who you were engaged with? The people who were in your squad, in your platoon. And that's it. And when that platoon changed, you were operating with these guys, these new guys, and you didn't really talk to those old guys. You might run into them every now and then, but you didn't hate them. And that's the way I even am today. Like, all the people who have meant something to me in my life throughout my past, I don't hate them. I don't hold a grudge against them. But I view maintaining relationships with those people as superfluous. Like, what do we have to talk about anymore? Like, I'm doing this now. Like, I still love you, but like I'm not calling you. I'm not spending time on that, right? I think a lot of it is too, I think it's a protection mechanism for myself. Like, I want to stay so focused on what I am doing. I just feel like every other because relationships are work. And relationships come with a lot of things. You know, they come with feelings about people. They come with certain amounts of tension. They take time. And I'm just like, all of those things are just distracting me or taking away from what I am supposed to be doing now. I don't want you guys to get this confused with the whole crabs in a bucket analogy. These people I'm talking about in my past, they're not trying to pull me down. I'm just saying I left them behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys. You guys are all three much better at being in relationship and with people and loving people. All right. You are, Chili. You take care. I mean, maybe you're not the best, right? But you take care of your aunt. Like you talk to her, and like there are more people in your life that I think you maintain these what I would deem superfluous relationships with than me. Mine's like nobody, but my guys and my wife. You know what I mean? So what is the point in maintaining these relationships with these people who have mattered to you, who have maybe poured into you, who have loved you? What's the point in putting in the effort to maintain or at least stay engaged in those relationships? And I'm not talking about hundreds of people either. I'm talking about looking across my past. I'm talking about this might be 4, 5, 6 people, but that's still a big draw off of your time and energy. You know, I mean, even just for me, like an hour on the phone per week extra, just checking in with people is like, feels really taxing to me because I'm not good at this. But I want to change this about myself. But I'm just trying to nail down, like, well, what is the point in it? So what's your perspective on that?
Well, my perspective starting off at just like I've never had the thought of to do this. And it could be that I've never been in a situation to where I've had to have the thought of, in order to do this, I'm going to have to leave somebody behind or these people behind. I've never, and I've heard you say that plenty of times. And to be quite frank, I've never understood it. And specifically with your story, when you tell your story of going to the Navy and, you know, you come back and a lot of people thought, well, here he is, he quit, which I sort of disagree with it. I think there was probably more than that was rooting along for you while you was in there and just didn't know that you had the cyst on your heart. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just particularly myself, I've never had the thought, well, in order for me to do this, I'm going to have to leave somebody behind. Like I just can't pay no attention to them. I've never had that thought ever crossed my mind. So I find it to be odd. Mm-hmm. But also I've never been in a situation where I was around a bunch of guys other than policing, but it is greatly different than being a Navy SEAL, that your life depended on the relationship and the camaraderie that you had with those individuals. That's a teetotal different thing that I don't think I could even understand. Maybe that was distilled in you through that. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that's never occurred to you, Cornbread. And I think that the reason, if I had to put my finger on it, that maybe it's never occurred to you is because of just that we are different people in terms of how we live our lives. Like, I get unhealthily, like, hyper focused on whatever my mission is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that you do that. You know what I mean? I think that you're I don't know that you do that or don't do that, but like the way my mind works is like, no, man, we got resurrected Sunday night. Well, come about Thursday, that's all I'm thinking, how can I make this thing the best that what it needs to be, right? And I just get hyper focused on thing after thing after thing, you know what I mean? And so, like, if you're not part of that thing, it's not even that I think that I need to leave you behind. That's not the thought. It just happens.
Well, I see what you're saying, but I think there has to be a conscious thought when the phone rings and you see it's Ricky, that you say, no, I'm not answering Ricky. And I think that's a choice to leave Ricky behind.
Yeah, you're right.
Or a text comes in from Johnny, and you're like, I ain't got time to mess with Johnny.
Yeah. And maybe I actually do have the time, But I'm so protective of just my headspace. Like, what's this guy going to say? Is he going to come at me with he's got cancer? His brother died. What's he going to come at? Like, I don't no. I don't need that. Like, I'm focused on this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think that happened? And the caveat to the question that I'm going to ask is you used to not be that way until you went into the SEALs.
Exactly.
And I was telling Chili about that the other day when we was having a talk. And Chili made the valid point that we all change. There's something that changes us all, whether it be a job, whether it be an experience or whatever. But, like, that's why I led up to say, well, I've never been in a position to where the people surrounding me, my life depended on them. So looking at and listening to what you're explaining, that's when I seen the change, is when, Chad come back after being deployed from wherever and whatever he was doing, was that little bit, I can't really say he was ever distant with me, but, you could tell because we hung around everybody, the same people, and it was, Chad don't never answer the phone. Tell that, and they know I talk to you. Tell him to, and I still get that on every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
tell that joker to answer his phone.
I literally don't talk to anyone except you guys and my wife.
Hey, it's tell him to answer his phone. Tell him to text. Well, where do y'all work at? I'm just going to come up there, and I'm like, look, dude, Chad is who Chad is, and I'm not crossing that line, Bubba. Like So yeah,
but and I want you to give your input on this too, Chili. But I want to change this. Like, I want to change this about myself because I think Brooke is right. I think if I continue living this way, I'm going to have regrets in my latter years. I think there are people right now who, if I don't engage them right now, they are going to be dead soon.
Yeah, and not only may you have regrets, but they are going to resent you because you have removed yourself from their mission, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Whether it's everyday life. I mean, people get hyped up and think what we're doing is the most important thing, and I'm not saying that's what you're doing. Just my thinking in perspective. What I'm doing is the most important thing, and what they're doing is way less superior than what I got going on. So why do they even need me or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're essentially removing yourself from what you could help them with. If it's just going to get groceries, or if it's talking to them about their mom that's got cancer, or if it's, helping them fix their truck or whatever.
Yeah, so, I don't do that stuff.
Right, yeah. Yeah, other people got missions besides us.
Yeah.
That love you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what does Blake have to say? Because I relate. I'm sorry to disagree. Well, I'm not sorry to disagree with you, but I relate to you. Like, I don't do that either. I mean, it's not good. I mean, I think you see me differently because I love my family and do communicate with them some, but it's like I can even think to. I mean, you may be different than me, but I love, like, the way you described what you would do for us. I feel that way. I feel the exact same way about y'all and also my family. My mom and dad, my cousins, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, and I talk to them, my extended family, probably more than you do, but, like, outside of that, it's nobody. All the people that I know that try to reach out and call me and ask to have lunch, and some people that call me all the time and text me like, why do you not answer? Blah, blah, blah. It's the same type of thing. I'm sure it's more people with you, but.
Well, it's just simply because I'm older than you.
But, like,
that's one reason.
But, like, I don't do that either. And then even thinking to, like, how many times have I, made time to do things with the people that I love. Like, even just going and doing whatever with my, cousins. It's like, them and you guys is the only people I'm close to, you know, and it's like I don't ever do it because, yeah, we're busy sometimes, but then it becomes purely, well, I just don't want, I mean, I'd rather be doing this. I've got time, but I'd have to make time hit, but I just won't do it, you know. I don't know why I do that. I mean, I hope I've gotten better at that over the years because it couldn't have been worse than it was 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, because that I would miss. I mean, it could be the most important day of somebody's life, and I would have missed it for a 10-mile trail run. I mean, but you're kind of like seemingly asking as if you're in the process of identifying why that is. Well, it's selfishness.
Yeah. I do understand that.
Like, dude, with me, everything that I was doing mattered way more to me than what anybody else was doing. And you're like, you know, you talk about you don't know why you do that or if it's a conscious decision. I mean, yeah, it is a conscious decision. You don't get a new friend and then say, well, I've got to knock one off. I'm just going to stop responding to Bobby because Joe's come into my life. No, you just don't. You've made the decision that you're going to do what you're going to do with the people that you're around, and everybody else is just going to have to just go figure it out.
Yeah.
That's what I've done. Like, it's just, you know, it's, the thing is it really snowballs. Like, you know, say you engage with everybody, you always answer calls, and then you just start not doing that. And then you get to the point 3 or 4 years later and you don't ever answer nobody or do anything for you know. But it's weird because it's not like you wouldn't go out of your way to help somebody if they asked you. It's you don't give anybody the opportunity to ask you. But I was the same way. Like, I didn't let it get as far as you asking me something.
Yeah.
It never got that far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but like, if someone, like, whoever, your dang friend from high school could stumble in here right now and need help with something, and you'd probably freaking cut off the podcast and go help them.
Yeah.
But like, you don't, unless that happens, you know, you can just like block it out and not care.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the same way. Am the same way. I mean, it's just being selfish with thinking what you've got going on ain't warranting listening to none of that.
Yeah, selfishness is a big part of it.
I mean, it is for me.
Something that you just said too, kind of alluded to another piece of it for me is I receive all of the love that I need from my wife and my team. Like, I don't need anybody else to love me. I don't need anybody else to call me. I don't need anybody else to help me. I don't need to have a conversation with you. And like, so that's another reason why it's hard for me to understand why relationship is so important to other people. And what's even the point of it? Like, there's no there's no utility to it.
Well, see, there's no utility for you. There may be for them.
Exactly. Then it's hard for me to understand that.
Yeah, there may not be any utility, so to speak, for you, but there is for them. Like, they may need you. They may, or you could help them, or they may. That's the flaw in looking at it that way. It's like, well, if I'm not getting any benefit out of talking to this joker, well, then screw it. It's like, well, they might. And it might just be that you have to talk to them for 30 minutes a week. And it's like, I don't do that either. So I'm talking to myself. But, like, that's why we don't do it, is because we're just like, well, heck, why do I want to talk to this part, you know?
Well, we're going to have to start slow, Chili. Like,
I don't do that either.
I don't know if this is something you want to change about yourself, but when Brooke was talking to me about this yesterday, I did. It started hitting me like in my heart. Like,
you want to know why it doesn't hit me as bad? Because I've done it for so long, and I would think you have too, that they've stopped.
Yeah. Well, same here on my end, but I know they're still there.
Yeah.
Like, those people are the people that are in my mind. They're still there.
And I'm not talking about my family right now. I'm talking about other people.
Yeah.
You know, they've stopped.
Uh-huh.
So then you just go, well, it don't seem like I'm blowing anybody off now. Nobody reaches out anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, and they've fairly well stopped for me too. And that's the reason it didn't come to me until Brooke challenged me with this. And that's a great thing about being married, by the way. Your wife should make you better. And you should make your wife better. You guys, that's how marriage works. If your wife sees something in you and she challenges you on it, it ain't going to feel good. I mean, I'm just trying to have a relaxing evening and go on a dang walk, and you want to hit me with this and then make me start feeling a certain way?
Was there something particular that had went on that brought it up, or was it something y'all had been talking about?
No, it had nothing we had been talking about. I think what brought it up for her is they all went, Blake and the whole family went to Pigeon Forge, and Brooke went with them. And like she shared a lot of, because my wife, her superpower is loving people. She's the totally opposite of me on this spectrum.
She seems to maintain about 1,000 relationships.
She does, man, and genuinely loves people, like genuinely loves them. So my wife didn't want to go to Pigeon Forge to do Dollywood. My wife wanted to spend time with our family.
Yeah.
Because she loves them more than I have been able to, or that I've been able to, or if I've decided to love them. And so I think she was just thinking about that while she was over there in Pigeon Forge, and that's the reason that maybe she challenged me on it.
Well, it goes along with her saying yes to things that she would otherwise have said no to. She's alluded to that in the past. We're letting Brooke talk more in this podcast. She's not even here, but she said that because she started saying yes to things and going on the long car rides that might mess up her sleep and whatever she's realized that, I kind of regret not doing that more over the past 5 years or whatever. I mean, she said that. I don't want to misquote her, but she's like, well, yeah, I've realized I was missing out a little bit because I was so daggone worried about my sleep and what I was going to eat and whatnot. So she's looking at you like, if you tried this, or tried to reach, you might realize that, this is actually, there is more utility in this than you previously thought.
And I do think that she is also right that this is would be a conscious move toward imaging Christ better, without a doubt. But yeah, man, she made me feel all like, oh dang, yes, you're right. I am gonna have some regrets about these certain people.
Have you ever thought of how it hurts people if you don't?
Yes, and that's part of not then re-engaging them, because that's the thing. Like, I'm assuming, I'm making a lot of assumptions what these people think about me, but I'm assuming that they get upset that I intentionally move on from that relationship. And so then it makes it that much harder to go, and then at the point I am now, like, then it makes it that much harder to change direction, because then you have to call this person and it's all awkward, and it's like, well, the whole time, dude, like I was never mad at you, like, but how do you get them to understand? Like, I was never mad at you, like.
They don't care that you're mad at them or not. They just want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I may be assuming that they're way more upset.
Well, it's a characteristic and a call from God to us to do good to all people and to return good for evil and good for good and good for everything to everybody. I mean, that is literally the scripture. So it's a godly characteristic to do that. And I think you ask the right questions, like, what's this person going to come at me with? They're going to come at me with they're sick or they got this. That's the right question, but you're coming at it from the wrong angle of like, oh, well, then what am I going to have to do? And I think it's like you have to change your perspective about it of like be excited about, well, what are they going to come at me? Like, what can I help this person with? Like, are they going to come at me with they're sick and they're reaching out to me that they, I have something that I can offer them to help. And like, that should excite you that you've got something that can help someone who's sick or hurting.
Well, it doesn't, Bubba.
Well, it should.
It distracts. I see it as a distraction.
Well, and
from what I've been called to do.
The old WWJD bracelets,
Yeah.
You ask yourself that, as corny maybe as those things are, you ask yourself that question a lot, and you say, well, what if I came to Jesus with this that I have?
Oh, Jesus wouldn't answer Ricky.
Is he going to say, oh, gosh, here's old Chad again. He's coming at me with all this crap, and, man, I do not want to deal with this
He
today.
would not answer Ricky.
And that's just not what he's going to do. So, I mean,
Blocked him.
you reckon it's important to recognize that it's like that is what God wants us to do, but changing it, we can't, like, you can just start doing it, but I think ultimately it's one of those things God just has to change your heart on it. And that has to become like, he's probably put that desire in your heart to start changing. And if you'll
I
stay
hadn't done that yet.
I was going to ask you, do you
Well, I said I want to change.
Well, you said
but
that.
I don't actually want to do.
you kind of like
what-
want this to just be different.
yeah.
Do you have any regrets now? Like, is there something that you look back and
No,
you're like,
because I can mentally put all of that stuff away.
kind of, what's it called, decompartmentalize?
Yeah, dude, I cannot tell you
Compartmentalize?
how much of my life that I don't remember anything about.
What's that? Compartmentalize? Whatever. Yeah, you've just moved it to...
Yeah, I can just, like, I was feeling that way yesterday about this thing, and I even told my wife, I was like, yeah, but, like, in a day, I won't feel this way anymore.
So,
Like, I cannot care again.
so I probably disagree with her then that you might not ever regret that. Like, if you don't now, because I do.
I think it would be late in life that it could potentially be like, daggone, man.
Deathbed.
Yeah, it would be when you did
Yeah.
when like the missions are kind of over and
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah,
winding life
yeah,
down.
you don't have your mission going on, and ain't nobody reaching out for you anymore.
Yeah, it could be late in life.
Yeah.
But
Dang.
what's the point? Is it for the other person
Yeah.
purely?
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
mean
think
that's
it's
a
for
question you answered. Like, what is the point?
But yeah, it's for the other.
I think just like Chili was saying, he never lets it get to the point to where they can ask. Well, if it's not getting to that point, then it's definitely not going to get to the point for you to offer to help too. Exactly. And that's for you. You being able to bless someone else is just as much for you as it is them.
Yeah.
Well, it's not for him, Corn.
No, it is. It is, bub. It is. Especially on the Pigeon Forge thing. I'd be hard pressed to take a trip to Pigeon Forge myself. But I can tell you this. That was with your family, and as being a father, if I did that and my boys said no, and me knowing they could have, it would have hurt. I'm just gonna tell you that.
Yeah. Well, I think my family has kind of just accepted who this version of Chad is.
They
but
probably haven't.
Yeah.
They just don't talk to you about
Well,
it.
I know one that hasn't. Poppy.
Oh, Poppy? I didn't know
He just
Poppy.
don't talk to you about it.
Oh,
He talks to me about it.
oh, okay.
He talks to me about it.
But hold on, Corn. Would
Look, everybody listening to this, if you're in my family or like people who used to know me, I don't know who all listens to this, but I want you to realize how freaking screwed up I am in some aspects of my life. Like, I am big time screwed up in some aspects of my life, you know?
Well, we all are.
yeah. But I've got to go back to a comment you made, Corn, about hard pressed to go to Pigeon Forge. Are you telling me you wouldn't ride the Tennessee Tornado with me?
I wouldn't. I went to Dollywood back in 2014,
Yeah.
and I got on that mine shaft one.
Yeah.
I said, "Whoa, son! I ain't doing the rest of these boogers.
You wouldn't ride Flying
thing-
Eagle with me?
I'll get on that log flume thing that did, and that's it. I ain't getting on them.
You wouldn't
super
do
fast.
Flying Eagle with me.
But see, I justify not going to Pigeon Forge because, like, I had to teach Resurrected Sunday night. And, like, if I would have went to Pigeon Forge, like, could I have taught Resurrected from the hotel in Pigeon Forge? Yeah.
Yeah.
But do
Easy out.
I think it would have been as meaningful as me being at home, having quiet time, preparing, doing it in the place that, is set up to do it in, so that's the thing. So I've justified this whole way that I live for years and years and years now. Like this is just a necessity. Like I've been called to this is how I justify it. I've been called to live a certain way. God's wired me a certain way to go really hard after certain things, and this is just a necessity of the way I have to live my life.
But we all know that it would be good for you to do some of those things and talk with some of those people that you don't want to. We know that you know that. Like, seriously, we do.
Well,
we know that you know that.
Cornbread said something the other day that just like blew me away, man. He was talking about Cooney didn't go see his grandma, Corn's mom. And Cornbread like told Cooney, you better go and see your grandma. And I was like, what the crap, Corn? Like,
ain't nobody gonna tell me.
Like Cooney's a grown man, like, you know, but what's the values that you're instilling in him by staying on him about that and making it a point to like let him know that no, that's important. I know you got other stuff going on, you know, and what you know, what are you gonna talk to your grandma about, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the new medicine she's taking or what like.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you gonna go see your grandma.
I could only imagine how grandparents feel about grandchildren, because when my kids were born and I looked at them, I was like, holy smokes, I will die for this joker. So you take, I'm telling you, you take something away, especially from your family, when you just choose not to associate when you can. And that don't mean you have to go to Pigeon Forge or something like that. But
That does.
But, you know, just spending time when you know you can and you make a choice not to. And I tell you, my mom lives right next door to me. And some days I don't feel like going up there, so I don't. So I'm not perfect by any means, you know, and she don't live but 150 yards from me, you know. But I'm telling you, And I've learned that since my boys have got older too. When I know they can do something with me, when I know they could go hunting or whatever it may be, and they choose not to, and I know that they're either sitting on their butt or they're just doing something teetotally ridiculous, it hurts, man. It's a hurt you can't explain. I'm not saying that it's a hurt that's valid, but it is a hurt that is there. And when I say valid, maybe I shouldn't be feeling it, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's I just wish that my wife would have just challenged me to like get back in shape and go like go win a race. Like, hey baby, you ain't won a race in a long time. You need to go win a dang race next year.
Long time,
Like,
bub.
why can't you just challenge me to do something like that? You know what I'm saying?
Toting that load, you need to shed that thing.
All right, I gotta go pee real quick,
Long
and then we're gonna jump into a Blake Rite sermon on the holidays.
Y'all get
this. I recorded this a long
God
time
of
back.
Elijah.
You did? Well, I mean, the thing about your family, I don't know. Chad paints it in a way as sometimes he doesn't even love his family. I mean, that is how he paints it sometimes. Nah, that's not true. But, I mean, I do. I guess I'm just going to reiterate what I just said earlier, but I love my family so much. But there's still times where it's like, well, how long has it been since you've talked to this person or this person? It's like, why do you not do that other than selfishness?
Yeah, that's all it is selfishness.
So we agree on that.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
I mean, it is with me. Like, it's just, you're just too busy.
Yeah, 100%.
What is this, Chad? Are you going to play a old clip? I think I know what you're about to play.
Well, you gonna leave here and make any calls?
It's not current.
Look, Blake,
You are not.
I got about 5 people I'm going to text when I leave and say, Chad is open for business this evening, Bubba.
Look,
He is
I know
Hit him
two-
while he's softy.
Is it old friends?
I know
Mainly with
2
Chad?
people that he needs to call.
That ain't me.
Oh, yeah.
One of them calls me all the time.
Yeah. Me too.
Just family.
Well, look, Blake, I got to start out slow on this. Brooke said I should come up with I should do one phone call next week.
No, that's not enough.
I even think
Well,
it's...
now I'm just going to, if I try to just do like,
I even think friends...
it's going to wipe me out, man.
Nah. Well, it's the holidays, bub. We don't have a lot going on.
I need to pick like one thing a week, man. Like one
Start
phone
in
call.
2025, New Year's resolution.
Do one phone call and one text.
Look, man, I need to start slow with this.
Blake, do you like New Year's resolutions?
No.
He could make that a New Year's resolution.
Oh, you got your headphones, Chili?
Yeah, play that.
Let's see.
Blake, he told me he likes New Year's.
Let's see if this even works. I don't even know, man. Let's see if this works.
Just right there is good enough.
Lord.
This is in some of y'all church.
That's right.
Thank God for television. This is in some of y'all church. This is in some of y'all homes.
That's right.
This is the bishop.
Now, your pastor is telling you Jesus' birthday is coming on the 25th.
Amen.
Your pastor is a liar.
That's the bishop, son.
Bible ain't never said Jesus was born December 25th.
Bishop,
Not only is your pastor a liar, your mama.
That's right.
You talking about my mama? Your mama.
Yo, Bishop, you gonna bring
Your
up my
daddy.
mama in church?
Children, there is no Santa Claus.
Whoa.
Your mama or your daddy bought them presents. There is no Santa Claus. And ain't no man 400 and 500 pounds coming down your chimney and live and talk about it. Not today.
Live to talk about.
Stop lying.
Bring
This
it,
is
Bishop.
heathenism.
Heathenism.
Paganism.
Paganism.
This ain't got nothing to do with God.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, he's about to get deep.
Amen.
10th chapter book of Jeremiah real quick. Let me read it.
Jeremiah 10, we'll start at verse 1.
Come on, son.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Hear ye the word of the Lord that's coming to you now, Dover, Delaware, and the world.
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith Tino Jennings.
Thus saith the Lord.
You hear this now? You
Thus
got
sa-
to be a hypocrite to go back to your church.
Hypocrite.
You got to be a child of hell. When you go back home tonight,
You
when
Christmas
you look at drive up to your house and see it
Baby of
all
hell.
lit up and that fake manger got down there.
Listen to
Hey,
this.
tell me, who's that little dirty, ugly baby you got on your lawn? Who's that dirty, ugly plastic baby
That's right.
you got on your lawn and on your church ground?
Amen.
The bishop send it,
Now, you
Bishop.
may be ignorant, but do you know when you got a baby and you claim it's Jesus, you blasphemed?
That's right.
That's right.
Because Jesus Christ is God, and God said, make no image of me. Who told you?
Tell him,
See, that's
Bishop.
blaspheme. Listen, Pastor Jennings, God ain't no baby. When Jesus walked this earth, he ain't still no baby. Who told you he had blonde hair, blue eyes, and white skin? Who told you he was light skinned or brown skinned with dreadlocks?
He ain't no baby.
You ain't never met him.
That's right.
He ain't walking the streets of Delaware. Who told you he had curly locks?
That's right.
Who told you he had little pudgy toes?
Amen.
Who told you that he had little old fat knees? Who told you he had plaits in his hair? You bunch of heathens.
Hear ye the word.
Bunch of Dover, Delaware heathens.
Right.
And when you go back home,
so good.
you think that man.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Dude, that was a TikTok.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Did you see that, Corn?
Yeah.
That was a TikTok.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh my gosh. You bunch of Dover, Delaware heathens. So we're coming around to the holidays here, and I don't know how many of y'all setting your manger up out there in the yard there, or putting up your Christmas tree, or telling your kids Santa Claus is coming and all this stuff, but you just heard the message from the bishop right there. And although this feller comes at it from a, maybe with a strange angle, I actually like listening to him. I thought he had a lot of good points. Man.
Yeah.
I thought he had a lot of good points. So,
Dover, Delaware heathens.
I was just in a church building sanctuary the other day that the whole stage was just full of Christmas trees.
I gotta pee.
So what do you think about this, Blake? I know you've decided to go anti-Santa Claus and anti all that. So what led you to that decision?
Well, I just didn't. As far as Santa goes, I just couldn't. I didn't want to lie to the kids. I mean, that's just the truth of the things.
Could you hear that? What that guy was saying?
Not really. No.
Yeah, that was his whole point. Like, you're a liar.
Yeah, and to the degree which you take that, and we did. I mean, I'll say that we did do it for a few years, but I think it was a conviction that God put on my heart to stop doing it. So if you're doing it, like, I'm not saying, hey, you're like going to hell or what. Like, that was a personal conviction of mine that I felt like if I told them that, then it might not be as dramatic as what I thought, but at some point they're going to realize that that's not true and that I was lying. And then maybe they begin to question, like, well, he's also taught me a lot about Jesus, and at what point does is he going to tell me that that's not true? And that, again, that may be an extreme and may never happen, but it's just and I don't always do it. I mean, but it is a goal of mine to just be extremely honest with anything and not be deceiving or tell lies. And I mean, so yeah, I mean, that was just a personal conviction of mine to not just straight up lie to my kids and tell them that this is happening. It wasn't because I want credit for the gifts. It wasn't because any of that. I don't care about any of that stuff, but I think it's important to do what you say you believe in to the fullest extent that you know how to do it.
And it's not just Santa Claus. I mean, I think so many fundamental aspects of Christmas and of many of our holidays and traditions are rooted in literal pagan worship of other gods. And there's a lot of history that you can study around that. But do you think there's anything wrong with these holidays, Cornbread? I mean, Christmas in particular, because it's strange how we have tied it so closely to Jesus, and to me, it just seems absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. As far as my family, like just about all the holidays that we do anything with, it's basically an excuse to get the family together. That's basically what it is. Now we do. One year I read the birth of Jesus at Christmas, and we celebrate Jesus being born on Christmas. We did the Santa Claus thing all the way through the boys. I'd say they was probably, the interesting thing was probably 9 or 10 years old. You can tell they didn't believe. And we didn't even talk with them that, hey, there ain't no Santa Claus thing. We just, like two idiots, we just kept doing it. And we knew they didn't believe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Santa Claus. But as far as the rest of the holidays, it's just an excuse to get together.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with pretending either. Like, the girls have fun pretending. Like, they have fun playing with their Barbies and pretending they're real, but they know they're not.
Yeah.
We have one of those elves. That's a new thing within the last decade, is moving this elf around in your house and telling the kids that it's alive and it moves. And we even did that for a year or two, and that we cut. But they were like, all right, they said, we know it's not real, but can we still pretend that it's moving? And they have fun moving it around, but they know the truth that it's not real. And just like with the Santa Claus thing, like if your kids, like, you decide you want to tell them no, it's not real, and they're like, well, that was really a lot of fun for us to wake up. Can we still act like it's real? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. I think it's just pretending in a kid's imagination, and so those kind of things are good. And it's not on we went, Chad mentioned we went to Dollywood, and they had in one of the restaurants that we went to where you could write a letter to Santa. And they asked Josie, one of our kids, if she wanted to write a letter to Santa, and she just said no. But Mom said, I'm glad she didn't tell him that no, because Santa Claus isn't real, because there are other kids there. And I said, I wouldn't have cared if she did, because it's not up to me to keep the lie that everyone else tells their kids. And in the beginning, I did kind of feel maybe a little bit of pressure around that to tell them, hey, now they do believe, so don't say that. But anymore, I don't say it, because it's not up to me for them to walk around and act like something. If they choose to believe that from other people, then fine. Whatever they want to, like, I'm going to tell you what the truth is. And neither one of them have fought me on it. They both have said, well, yeah, I see that doesn't really make any sense now. But I don't feel the pressure anymore to keep the lie that everyone else has told their kid on account of them. Because, like, if you want to lie, you're going to get found out. So just don't lie, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't go around, like, chanting it and holding up signs on the street, but I'm not going to make an extra attempt to make sure that they are not exposed to that.
Yeah, that's a good word. Did y'all do Santa Claus chili?
Oh, yeah. Dude, look, Chad, here's what you have to understand. I have my life, and Miss Tracy?
Yeah.
She is as tradition, loves it. And really, as a little kid, I don't remember. I loved it too. But, like, when I got not even that old, I really began, I hate tradition. The first time, whenever I was old enough to go, why do we do this? And why is it like this? And no one knows why, because it's the way it's always done. Yeah. And that's the answer for all kinds of things outside of holidays. I begin to despise it. I mean, I literally hate that we put up all the things we do just because. Like, why do we not do what we want? Like, anyway. But yes, as a kid, I did it, and I remember being pissed when I found out it wasn't real. I forget how old I was, just a little kid, and I was like, what?
You pitch a fit?
No, but I was just like mad. I made her feel bad. And then I remember it was hilarious. A few weeks after that, I was talking to my cousin who's like a year older than me, and he already knew and everything, and I was like, yeah, it turns out Santa's not real or whatever. And he was like, yeah, it sucks, and he was like, then you realize that, the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy's not real either, and that hadn't dawned on me yet. So I went, say what? And he was like, oh, yeah, it's all a sham, bud. And I was like, oh, dang.
Isn't that that's a big letdown, though. Yeah. Really, you grow up and you're doing that, and it's like this magical thing, and then it makes everything else seem not as magical. Yeah. Like if you can just start, I think, if you could just start out and experience Christmas for what it, we can debate the holidays and the date and things like that, but worship Jesus for who he is and worship Jesus through the Easter holiday and through the Christmas and everything, and appreciate it for what it is, rather than taking the focus off of him and putting it on these presents and putting it on this candy basket and putting on, the Tooth Fairy. Come on, you lost a freaking tooth, man.
Yeah, it's such an easy alternative. Like, there is such an easy alternative to Santa Claus. Like Chili said, why do we do this? Well, it's just because of what everybody does. It's like, but it's not hard to say, instead of sitting your kids down and saying that there is a 500-pound man that's going to come down your chimney and leave a bunch of daggone presents here.
It's always a chimney.
Okay, why don't you sit your kids down and say, hey, kids, we have been blessed in life by the Lord Jesus to live where we live and to have what we have, and we're going to be able to buy you gifts on this day for Christmas. Now, what are some things that you would like to have? Well, it's like, why don't you just do that?
Well, yeah. I guess I'm going to walk back what I said about tradition. Anytime that the justification for something is because that's the way it's always been done, I don't like that. But at the same time, I see how it's like, when different times of year come and it's like, well, it's time to bust out the Christmas lights or whatever. I don't hate that. Like, in some ways you do think if all of that just was gone overnight, there was literally none of that. I don't mean you have to get deep into the Santa and all that crap, but I just mean, we do this for the season and everything. It would be like, it's a part of just culture. There is something to be said about that. Like, if you just did away with all of it wholesale, well, then it's like, everything's just bland and boring.
I agree with you on that aspect.
I don't know how to explain
that. We can have the same experience.
Yeah.
Without doing the things that we do.
Yeah.
Not even knowing why we do them. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
But I mean, I like Christmas. I mean, I like seeing Christmas lights. So it's like, why do we do it? Because it looks cool. Well, I'm good with that.
What do you think about what the bishop said about making a graven image of baby Jesus?
Well, yeah.
I thought the dude had a point.
We've talked about that.
I thought the dude had a point.
I mean, it's probably not a great thing when we have all of these pretend images of Jesus everywhere. Like, the art, the paintings and things, and we've talked about wearing a cross and everything with, like, there's the images of him even on it, It's like, I don't know, man. That's not, you can guarantee you're not looking at Jesus. You're looking at an image created by man of him that is not accurate. So it's like, how good is that? I don't know. Doesn't seem too good.
Well, I want to back up to the Santa Claus one real quick.
The bishop! Sing it, bishop!
And I'll just say that this year, our oldest daughter's 7, and she came to me about a week ago, and she said, this year for Christmas, I don't want to go straight in there and open up all our presents like we've always done. I would rather eat breakfast first, and then let's read the story out of the Bible, and then we'll go open up our Christmas.
Look, she's breaking tradition already.
Because that's what Christmas is about. And I'm not saying that was because I told her Santa Claus wasn't real, but I don't know that she would have said that if she had been anticipating all of this time that this man was bringing these presents. She don't know what they are, but she knows they're coming, and she wakes up and that's what she wants. And so, I don't know. I just thought that was really mature of her and cool that she came. I mean, that was it was like out of left field. We weren't even talking about Christmas. She just had been thinking about that, and that was what she wanted to do. So I thought that was really cool, and maybe telling her the truth about Jesus and Christmas is what produced that result.
Yeah. Yeah, because for a 7-year-old, the surprise of just those gifts is overwhelming a lot of times. So, yeah, that is really cool.
And she's all about gifts too, son.
Really?
I mean, all about it. So, yeah, I mean, it was just cool for me to hear her say that.
Yeah.
Well, just wanted to get ahead of that since we are getting in the midst of this rapid-fire holiday season. We start with Halloween's the warm-up, and then Thanksgiving's the pregame, and then Christmas is the big show, and then, New Year's
Kwanzaa.
is like the after party.
That's the taper.
Yeah.
Kwanzaa.
Yeah. Oh, Kwanzaa. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. So I wanted to get ahead of that for you guys that
Boxing Day
might be thinking about something to do. Wanted to share with you our perspectives on that. Chili, is there anything worth talking about in the news this week?
Oh yeah.
What you got?
Jugger started out in that baritone
Like a diesel, man.
Duke of Earl.
I haven't even been paying attention to the news,
Welcome
man.
back to WOZ 307.
I need a segment in this news.
Okay.
Welcome back to WOD 307. In national news, the DNR has continued funding for the hatchery and trout stocking throughout northwest Georgia. And
The DNR is my section of the news, dude. This is bull crap.
well, no, that's a big story. That was national news.
Thank you.
Also in national news, President Joe Biden. Do you know, speaking of tradition, do you know of the tradition to pardon a turkey on Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Well, in national news, Joe Biden was unable to locate the turkeys that he was supposed to pardon when he walked out of the Oval Office. He was unable to make the pardon on time. So
Is this on video?
it's national news. Yeah, your turkey's not pardoned this year, Bo. You got to wait till
Good
next year when Big Daddy
night,
Trump
son.
can get in there. He'll double up.
Good night.
But no, I was kicking over to local news correspondent Blake Wright.
Yeah, so I just this is news. It's some listeners might know, but probably many don't. And I'm gonna give y'all a little quiz to see if you know the news or not.
Hurry up.
You always
News
have to do something
spokesman,
gay.
news spokesman Chili, can you name the 5 oceans for me?
Can I name the 5 oceans? Oh, this is to show that we're retarded.
The Pacific.
The Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian, the Arctic, Mediterranean.
No.
I didn't think so. I don't know.
No.
Well, that's a C, I guess.
Have I
In
got
20
4?
in
Have I got?
2020
Hold on. Have I got 4 of them?
Yeah.
I need the 5th.
In 2021, the Southern Ocean was created. And so that's a little bit older news, but some news that many people might not know. What? The Southern Ocean.
Where's that at?
That's south.
It was created
Down
in
around-
2021.
Yeah. I think June of 2021, the Southern Ocean was created.
That's a load of crap.
So it took all the southern parts of the Indian, Pacific, Atlantic, and then the waters around the
And it
Antarctic.
just made it into one.
And now it's the ocean. So that's some big news. It's a little bit old if you already knew it, but if you didn't, it's new. I mean, the new ocean,
Is that your news segment?
the Southern Ocean. Yep.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you, Blake.
Kicking it back over to news spokesman Chili. That's big news. And a whole new ocean that we didn't have before.
That is big. That's real big.
Yeah, I mean, imagine what fish are in the Southern Ocean now that that's there.
There's some good ones down there.
Well, kicking it over to Cornbread with local news.
Well, on really local news here on November the 26th.
What, 2018?
No, 2024. The Northwest Georgia Drug Task Force arrested a 41-year-old woman in Coosa on Thomas Bluff Road. You know where that road's at?
Yeah.
Is it rough in that country?
Yeah.
For 4 pounds of meth, 43 guns, a stolen go-kart that was worth $5,000, a stolen skid steer that was worth $65,000. The interesting thing, of course, she got charged with drug trafficking and all that, but she got 43 counts of possession of firearm by a convicted felon for every one of those guns.
They hit her hard.
They 2 of the guns was stolen. Yeah, I ain't gonna say her name because she's innocent until proven guilty. But 4 pounds.
Okay,
of
we'll
meth.
say your name.
Last name's Causey.
Well, Mary Beth Causey is innocent until
Amanda
proven.
Lee Causey.
Okay.
41 years old.
Is 4 pounds of meth a lot of meth?
Oh, that's a bunch of meth.
Well, so when you hitting the meth, you just hitting a little pinch of meth.
Yeah.
Well, what do they call it? A little dab of meth. What do they call that?
They sell them in 8 balls, quarters.
Oh,
they
8 bags cocaine. 8 ball cocaine.
Yeah, they do 1/8 of meth too. Yeah.
Do they really make that stuff like out back in the shed?
They can. Yeah, they can. They can make it. It's called the shake and bake method. You take that Coleman lighter fluid, you pour it in a 2-liter bottle or whatever you want to pour it in. You get your Sudafed, you mash that stuff up, mash it up. You pour it down in there, then you strip your alkaline strips out of your alkaline batteries.
Oh my God!
And you put it in those bottles, seal the top, and man, it'll look like a tornado inside there. And that mess starts but you got to burp that bottle every so often and let that pressure out. Because what'll happen is those lithium strips get so hot, and they'll make that bottle. And if that thing explodes and the oxygen hits it just right, it'll make a fire explosion. I've seen it
gas bomb.
where the lithium strips got so hot they touched the side of the 2-liter bottle and it melted and then caused an explosion.
So on the U.S. Department of Justice, it says medium purity crystal meth sells for $5,000 to $8,000 per pound.
Gosh, yeah. Get over $20,000 worth of meth.
Yeah.
Dang.
And a 60
Cheap to make, too.
Yeah. I don't know if that was made here, if that was some straight up cartel meth.
For real cheap to make.
I mean, are
Real
the cartels making it any different than
They use
Johnny
like,
Redneck?
Yeah, they for mass quantities they use this some type of system where they use red phosphorus. I can't remember exactly how
Hold on,
that.
you
that
stopped
goes.
with mid tornado in a bottle. How do you get usable meth out of that?
It crystallizes down in the bottom of that jug, and
So-
then you filter it.
What are people getting addicted to? It's
high
lighter
that you
fluid
The amphetamine that's
Yeah.
in
inside.
the Sudafed?
Yeah, it strips it out of the Sudafed. Everything.
Oh, so it like condenses it.
Yeah, that's what the lithium and the Coleman fuel do. It strips it.
Okay. Man, that's some wild stuff, man.
High dose.
Right here at the house.
Yeah.
Nobody did they give nuclear bombs to the Ukraine?
No.
Does that happen?
No,
I
that's,
heard they were talking about doing that.
Marjorie was pitching a fit about that.
Yeah, that. Do you think the Ukraine has nuclear bombs already?
I think they could have them just as much as Israel's got them. So probably
I mean, I believe they.
Yeah.
They have what anybody else
they had
has.
them to begin with.
Yeah.
And supposedly gave them all up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that.
Except for those few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They supposedly gave them all up. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, have you heard about, if we want to get into the Russia-Ukraine conflict?
Well, we did do the Russian Special Forces military test this morning.
We did. We did.
Right.
Yeah, I figured it would at least be proper to
Spetsnaz.
honor Russia.
Spetsnaz, up with Russia.
up with Russia.
Well, so what do you, real quick, did you find that to be a difficult test?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Would you say
Other than when we had to fight cornbread, that was
wait,
pretty
that
rough.
was really bad. Would you say that it was harder than the whatever the screening test is for the United States Naval Special Warfare?
That's not even close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so Vladimir Putin, boy, I'm telling you, you better not listen to him talk because you'll start to agree with him. Because he calls out the U.S. government and media for being the lying crooks that they are, and you go, well, we found common ground, Vladimir, because I agree with you.
Right.
Now, of course, I think he's a raving idiot too, doing the same thing. But when Joe Biden, we offered all that to the Ukraine, right, and said we would throw more support.
Right.
I mean, that's the news story. Well, he got on whatever thing in Russia, the Kremlin or whatever, and did an interview and was like, y'all know the only reason that they did that was to make everybody think that Russia was aggressing Ukraine even more and they had to respond more just to justify sending more weapons and making more money off of military arms. I mean, he just laid it out, and it was like, yeah, you're exactly right. But
I've heard people say he makes a lot of sense.
well, Lord, yeah, he does, because he calls out. It's pretty easy to call out the United States media and government for their corruption and lies, and that's what he does. Now, I mean, that
Doesn't mean he's a good person, but
no, and that's not to mean he's not doing the same thing.
Yeah.
he is. You can definitively prove that, but it's just like, yeah, you better not listen to him just talk about our media and government because he's spot on. And yeah, but he also said in that he was like, are y'all, I think his line was, you'd have to be stupid to think that we're going to attack NATO. That's a quote.
Yeah.
He was like, they're saying we're going to attack NATO. You'd have to be an idiot. We're not attacking NATO. And I mean, I think that's 100% true. They're not going to do that. What do you think?
Yeah, I doubt very seriously they would attack NATO.
But that's what U.S. media is propagating.
right.
That
Yeah.
right, Putin might attack NATO.
Joe Biden, the week of the Russian invasion, the very first thing out of his mouth was Poland's next, as if Russia was going to sweep through the Ukraine and be in Poland within 3 weeks.
Well, that was stupid. I mean,
that was the very first thing out of his mouth. Poland's next. And
Yeah.
Poland, of course, being a part of NATO.
yeah. Well, U.S. media has, that's the story they've ran with from the beginning, is to to claim that the reason for Russia attacking Ukraine was to slowly attack NATO countries one by one and sweep through Europe.
Take over the whole region.
Yeah.
Similar to what Germany was attempting to do.
Well, that's been that's been very wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
And nobody, I mean, anybody with the brain knew didn't think that that's why he attacked Ukraine. I mean, he didn't attack Ukraine as a stepping stone to freaking Poland and the rest of Europe.
Right.
It's not why he did it, but that's what we ran with. So then he's able to look like a good or a smart guy by being like, yeah, look, they're lying about that. We ain't doing that. And I don't know. It's just very interesting where it goes because Joe Biden has about 50 days left as a lame duck president. And he could do a lot like that to rile up the entire world.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that Trump and Putin have already talked. I would like to think.
I think that's admitted, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to think, and I don't know, not as if Trump is the save-all of everything. I would like to think Big Daddy Trump has said, look, Bubba, you know this guy's an idiot. They ain't now telling what he's going to do until I get in there. Just hold the reins. Everything's going to be all right, bub. I would like to think that, but that don't mean that's how it works or that's what's happened. You know what I mean?
Well, if Russia wasn't able to plow through the Ukraine, then I don't know why they would ever consider attacking Poland because Poland has the Polish Grom. And let me tell you, the Polish Grom are some rough cats.
Really?
Oh yeah. Is that's where some of those dudes you've
Yeah, I went through buds with a guy from the Polish Grom. He walked out to do a ocean swim one day, and he got a stingray, put a barb in his foot, and he ran around on it for the next 2 weeks in SEAL training before his foot was about to rot off, and they had to pull him out and let him heal. That joker was rough, son. He didn't never say much. He hung in there like a tick.
Not to mention, that's where Wim Hof lives.
Oh, that is true. They could breathe him out.
Them
he lives in Iceland.
No, he lives in. I think he's Polish.
Yeah, he is.
They could just breathe them out. They didn't even think about that.
Yeah. You seen his breath work? It don't take but a couple people doing that. It shut that whole unit down.
I didn't even think about that.
You get a mess of people laying on their back breathing like that, you can't even get around them.
Oh man! I went through SEAL training too with some Arabs. I forget what country they were from. What's some of them Arab countries?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabians. I went through SEAL training with some Saudi Arabians, and they were the biggest pieces of freaking crap I've ever seen on the face of the earth.
Like just sad sacks?
They were just sad sacks, weak as crap. Finally, one of them one day was coming down the slide for life, which is it's on the O course. There's this big tower. It goes up 3 or 4 levels, and you kind of go up to the very top. And then there's a big rope that goes from the top all the way back down to the ground. This thing's probably, 50, 60 feet off the ground. Well, finally, one of them freaking Arabs went down the slide for life one day, and he got about 10 foot down it, and he peeled off of it and fell and just shattered his pelvis. We all just laughed at him. He was that big of a turd.
So what failed on him? His grip?
Yeah, it would have been his grip.
Okay.
Yeah. The O courts, that's what fails on everybody is the grip.
So he just couldn't hang on, and he just
peeled off of it. Sand dart.
Sent it down.
Yeah, sand dart.
Golly.
Well, we got a Patreon segment coming up. I can't wait to hear what's coming. What Queen Bread has to say from Patreon. But before we get there, this episode is brought to you by our partner at Drink HOIST. Man, if you guys haven't tried HOIST yet, where in the world you been, son? HOIST is more than a beverage. It's battlefield proven IV level hydration that is trusted by our U.S. military to keep them hydrated longer than water. HOIST absorbs instantly and replenishes your body immediately to keep you powering through to the next objective, mission, rep, or lap. It's clinically proven to hydrate 110% better than water. And that has also been my same experience. We've been using HOIST here at 307 Project for years, doing some really, really difficult stuff. where we sweat, we're out for days, we're freaking getting after it. We've used it at all of our races that we've hosted. We've seen it used over a broad spectrum of people, and it's always hit the spot, man. It does hydrate you better than water. It has things in it that help keep you going longer, like calcium, potassium, magnesium. It's got 70 calories per bottle and an awesome flavor. So if you haven't tried Drink Hoist, I suggest you at least giving it a shot. DrinkHoist.com. You can order a couple cases, have it around the house. No preservatives, made right here in America. It's clear because it doesn't have any coloring in it. And if you open this bottle and you leave it sitting for about a week, you're going to come back and it's going to have some mold in it because there's no preservatives in this, all right? So check it out. I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed if you get out, you run, you swim, you kayak, you hike, whatever it is you do where you're working up a sweat. This stuff's going to keep you going. Thank you, Drink Hoist, for being such an amazing partner with us here at 307 Project for such a long time, and it means a lot for you guys that watch the show. If you get something out of the show, one of the ways that you can give back is to support the companies that support this show, like Drink Hoist. It makes a difference to them. It's an American company with awesome people, and it also makes a difference to us and our partnership with Hoist because they're a big part of why we're able to come back and do this show week after week after week. So check them out, drinkhoist.com. CB, what you got from our Patreon crew, man?
So from Patreon, this is coming from Ashley. She's a newer member, been a member since August. She says, I had a topic idea that I would like to hear discussed in your podcast if you get time. My topic is moving past infidelity in a relationship. Is post-infidelity stress disorder a thing? What is the Christian response to this? Keep up the good work. I've never heard of post-infidelity stress disorder.
No, I haven't either, but I could only imagine that it's a pretty daggone stressful thing to have to deal with. I mean, it's a tough question for me because it's not something that I've ever had to work through in my marriage. Anything that I could think about, how it would feel, what that experience would be like, what kind of emotions would come out of that, would probably just be a very surface level viewpoint on what you or others are actually experiencing in that moment. What's the proper course of action to move on from that? Well, I mean, I don't think that there is necessarily a right one answer fits all, right? I mean, you know, as we know biblically, and we see marriage as a union between man and woman before God. I've never understood why the state is so involved in marriage. I'm just assuming it's because they figured out most people do it and they can make money off of it. But the state has nothing to do with your marriage. Your marriage is a binding relationship because it's bound by the covenant that you make before God with that person, right? And Scripture's clear on the fact that if a partner does go and commit adultery against the other, the man or the woman, then that is the grounds for terminating a marriage. I think that is clear. Now, whether you should do that or whether you should go through the process of healing and trying to recover, rework your marriage and recover the relationship, I don't know. And I don't think that I think that every case is different. I think that the Holy Spirit has to be the one to lead you through that process and give you guidance on the decision that you make, because every case is so different, and I can't understand the pain that must cause in so many different aspects because I haven't been through it. And that's really all that I can say about it. I mean, to be honest with you, it's a very common thing. There's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are going to listen to this who have been through it, and that would be one piece of advice I guess I could give. There has got to be Christian counselors who specialize in this. There's got to be. like find one of them. There's got to be groups of people who are going through this or who have been through this that you can be a part of, right? And I think that you need to seek those people out, and not just to not because they're going to give you all the answers, but it may be helpful just not feeling like you're alone in this, right? I don't think anybody has the answers for anybody because all the situations are so different. But, man, seek out those people, find a counselor, and make the investment in going and getting counsel from a professional who specializes in this. And, by the way, if you go and see a counselor and you don't connect with them and, like, it's not a good fit for you, go find another one. Like, find another one until you find the right one for you. And I think that's going to be great, but I think it needs to be a Christian-based counselor, and I think that it has to be something that's prayed about for quite a while, and maybe don't make any quick, rash decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can help it. So.
Can't add much to that.
Yeah, I can't add much to that either. It's going to be case specific anyhow.
Yeah. Anyhow, Ashley, we are we're sorry that you're having to deal with that and go through that, but we trust that the Lord is going to lead you through that, and that's why He's so good, man. That's why He's such a good Father. He will never leave you or forsake you, or any of us who trust in Him. All right.
Oh, you want to open any of them?
Oh, I got a bunch of stuff to open here.
Before you do your unboxing, I did want to clear up one thing, and it's related to Patreon. And you might find this petty, and you might think that this is prideful on my part to have to point this out. But I made an edit to the Street Fighter 2 post on Patreon, and I just wanted to read it.
Read it.
All right, Chad, if you want to go ahead and open up. Oh, man, I didn't do this, but YouTube just went down. I'm going to have to get it back up.
Are you serious? Oh, my gosh.
Read your edit, bub.
Okay.
That's the second week in a row that's done that.
I know it.
Well, Chili won 2-1 against Cornbread, despite him having many years of experience in tournament wins in both the Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter franchises. Thank you.
Hey, James Niggermeyer messaged and said, awesome win against Chili. And I said, well, Chili actually won. So I wasn't trying to hide your win, Chili. We will have a rematch one day in Mortal Kombat. I'm going to beat the brakes off of you.
All right, I think we're back.
We're back up.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Is it up,
Fucking
Chad?
YouTube, man.
You got 3 packages, man.
I'm not showing it up on mine.
What's up?
Let's see.
They're saying it's up.
Okay.
Audio's loving this.
Whoa.
Corn.
Whoa, that's
Corn.
Wrap the show up.
3 of 7 projects live. Okay, yeah, we are back up. Outstanding. All right.
Well, see, these packages have been opened, but not by you.
Some people have sent me some stuff. First of all, this fella right here sent me a long letter from France, and
You did open that one. That's true.
yeah, this is my buddy Remy. I don't know Remy, but he sent me a long letter. And Remy, I briefly read through this before we started the podcast, but I'm going to take it home with me and read through it in a little better detail and pay more attention to everything that you're talking about in here. And he is a Catholic in France, and he sent me this letter talking about why they believe the things that they believe as Catholics. Mm-hmm. And so, Remy, I want to thank you so much, man, for caring enough about me and to write this out and to send it to me, man, and for listening to the show. That means a lot to me, man, and I'm interested in what you have to say, and I really appreciate that. And maybe this letter right here will bring up some topics that maybe we'll discuss on a later show, man. So I really appreciate you being passionate about your faith and for taking the time out of your day to send this thing all the way from overseas. That means a lot to me, man.
France.
Pretty cool. I mean, it is. It's pretty cool that he did that.
It's very cool.
That took time. Like, that's professional, typed out letter. Like, that took time, and he cares, man.
Well, it's very cool, but I'll just go ahead and say you're welcome.
What?
Well, he only listens to the show because I'm on it.
Oh, well, that's fine.
You know.
That's fine. He sent the letter to me.
Yeah, but this being
Mr. Chad Wright.
But this being a Protestant podcast and all, he listens to it because I'm on it.
The Pope.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
That's all I'm getting
I
at.
didn't even think about that.
You're welcome.
Chili asked me specifically to open this one on the podcast. I have no idea what's in here, but here's a plastic dog turd. Thank you, Guy. Okay. I don't understand what this is.
Look at who it's sent to.
I don't. The tag's ripped off.
It said P.O. Box 454, Rome, Georgia 30162. Ricky and Jenna Long.
They sent this to Ricky?
Apparently to Ricky.
That's who you've been declining, Corn said.
Ricky and Jenna Long.
Well,
this
is a 365 daily devotions. Lord, it's me again.
And this is a dog turd.
And that's a plastic dog turd. So that's an odd combination of a gift right there.
And it was supposedly going to Ricky and Jenna Long.
Ricky got the turd, Jenna got the book.
This is from Alec.
Yep.
A bunch of candies. Canadian Gold Mint.
There you go.
Dang. That's legit, man.
Probably an ounce of them.
This is real Canadian candy?
Is it real Canadian gold is the question.
It says Canadian Gold Mint.
Let me see
I think it's wrapped in Canadian gold.
What does it allow?
I don't know, man. It looks kind of shady, dude. I don't know how to eat
Dang,
one
it
of those.
does look shady.
I got anthrax. in
Yeah,
it.
this looks like you guys were supposed. Did you guys open one of these and try to eat it?
No, I assumed you wouldn't.
Yeah, this kind of looks shady. It's a little golden wrapper with a sticker stuck on it that says Canadian Gold Mint.
Dang.
So
You gonna eat one, Chili?
Take you a bite off of it.
that's all that's in here. A box of Canadian Gold Mints.
There you go.
Oh, it is a mint.
Don't eat that, Chili. There might.
Anthrax.
Look, Alec didn't send us no anthrax, bub.
Might be. Ain't no telling what's in that, son.
Someone might have intercepted the package.
Yeah, somebody. This might not even have came from Alec. This might have come from somebody posing as Alec.
Nah, he sent us Canadian gold.
That's legit, man.
You was going to allow about that doll right yonder last
No, I
week.
ain't talking about that, Cole.
You ain't?
Not today. No.
Allow about the doll.
No.
In about 55 days, we'll talk about
We'll
it.
talk about that later.
There you go.
January.
Be that way then. That French guy needs to allow to me why the French decided not to fight Nazi Germany when they was invaded in World War II. That's important too. You need to write a letter and explain that to me.
You know the French helped us during the American Revolution, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
They didn't fight Nazi Germany.
You got any super chats, Blake?
Yeah, Brooke commented on here and said that's from Jeremy Lynn.
What's from Jeremy Lynn?
I don't know about maybe that turd in that book.
From Jeremy Lynn? Well, then why'd he send it to Ricky?
They just got it mixed up.
Maybe that's what he calls it. We had a first super chat coming in at $1.99.
Robert E. Lee
from Chili Jr. He said, "I'm back, baby."
Oh my gosh, where has he been?
Better get that Santa Claus.
He come
ready.
back in at $4.99. Said, "Sorry for not being here for so long. Dad put me in foster care. Now I'm using their credit card."
No, you ain't.
We had Rent Collector come in at $2.79 of Canadian money. Said, "Can Chili, Corn, and Tech Guy count to 4 out loud? Old Bull won."
Dang right I won, Rent Collector. He's talking about the daggone ruck challenge. You're dang right I won. Thank you, Rent Collector. That was a biggest cover up I've ever seen in my life on the whole 307 Project YouTube channel.
Cover up. We had Gatekeeper Radio 347 come in at $4.99. We celebrate Jesus, but St. Nicholas was a person that most idolize. Keep it real, Blake. That's how I broke the news to my kids.
There you go.
Saint Nick.
Thank you, Gatekeeper.
Well, you'll not be idolizing St. Nicholas. That's
right.
St. Nicholas, you know what he was? He was just like the rest of us. He might have done some good stuff, but...
You Dover, Delaware heathens.
And walking Delaware. Oh, by the way, Chili Jr., you know somebody at the race legitimately asked me if Chili Jr., you're thinking it was legitimately your child was at the race. For real.
You don't think you were just being duped?
No, they were serious.
Someone asked if my son was at the race?
Yes. So someone listening to this thinks Chili Jr. is legitimately your son.
Well, of course they do.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can say anything on there and somebody's going to believe
Well, no,
it.
he is my son, but it's just the thought that I would have him at the race is ludicrous.
Yeah. Somebody asked for him.
We had Mike Hoffman come in at $9.99. Chad, I would ask the Spirit to lead you to who you in your outside circle you should reach out to. I know when I do, the person I am led to reach out to will always be a needed interaction for both.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I already know who I should reach out to and who I shouldn't. So that's already happened.
Little Virgil, 99 cents. He sent that emoji with that smiling face.
Look, wait, we just need to skip over these 99-cent super
And
chats.
Not if it's
Halo
Little
on it.
Virgil.
Oh, yeah, the
Okay.
one with the halo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I've proposed on the podcast before. It's got to be over $4.99 to be read. That was just because I hate being that way, but you're such just a curmudgeon about the 99-cent ones. But Little Virgil's an exception.
Did you know Chili spent $1,000 for tires on his Mazda?
Well, that's not-
$1,000.
Well, that's not all I paid for, but yeah.
What else you have done to it?
It was expensive.
He had an oil
Yeah,
change.
some mechanic and stuff.
He said he had an alignment done.
Yeah.
He had the tires mounted and balanced. What else did you buy?
That's all I'm getting into, bud, but it was expensive.
Why did you go to that place?
Well, that's what I told him. I said $1,000 for tires on that thing, Chili. I said, man, you need to shop around a little bit.
I bought name brand tires for that Tundra for less than that.
Well, look here.
And got an alignment.
Well, look here. I don't get used tires, bub.
No ways aren't used tires, man.
Y'all get used tires in good shape.
No.
You need to go down here to Burt Brooks, man.
Somebody ripped you a new one, son. Them some wheelbarrow tires on that thing.
That's what I was thinking the same thing. You go down here to Burt Brooks, man. They give you
Good
buy
night.
3 tires, get 1 free. Get you some of them Turismo tires, son.
Corn puts 20-ply tires on that one of his, and they don't cost them but $600.
Yeah.
You need to get some of them Turismo tires, Chili.
Yeah.
Get some Ling Longs.
No, he got Michelin's.
Did he?
Yeah, he got Michelin's. That's one reason they were so high.
Did Jeff tell you about that place?
That's a good talk.
A Michelin tire?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
That's
tire until
top
it gets
of
a
the
nail
line.
in it like every other tire.
That's why I went with it, bub.
Did Jeff tell you about this place? Or did you just drive by it and say, let me whoop in there real quick?
I got them, son.
Oh, Garrett. Well,
Dang.
I don't know. Chili is pretty tight. He might have shopped around. I'm not sure, though.
Wow. Well, we had deplorable lawn guy come
He
in.
put $1,000 worth of tires on a $2,000 car.
I did do that.
You better drive that thing to them tires burn up.
I did do that. Well, that is the plan. I mean, those are 150,000-mile tires.
You gonna rotate them?
I walked out there a minute ago and that thing was out there running. Said, good night.
Yeah, that ain't good. I've been a little concerned about the engine wear lately.
Well, worst case, you always got your money in tires. You pull them off.
How many miles it got on?
170.
Oh, you good. Hammer down.
Yeah, but I
Hammer down.
don't know what's going to happen. I need that engine to last.
One thing, your tires ain't gonna go out.
I need that engine to last 150,000 miles because that's how long the tires are gonna last. Then I'll get a new vehicle.
That's rough.
I ain't never had a tire last for 150,000 miles.
No, that's
Well,
a
no,
scam.
they ain't rated for that. I'm just saying that's what I've got to get out of them to make it worth it.
Okay.
No, they rated about half that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, look, I can probably squeak that much out when the Mazda hits 300K miles, then I'll get a new one.
With new tires.
Get a new Mazda 3. Yeah, with new tires.
Yeah.
Because those will be worn out.
Well, we had Deplorable Lawn Guy come in at $19.99. He said, "How to be a millionaire? Step 1: keep chili in the dungeon."
There you go.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Good point.
Thank you, Deplorable Long Guy,
We
for
had
that generous donation.
Muscled Up Runner Greer, $9.99. Happy Thanksgiving and love y'all. I'm thankful for each one of y'all. God bless.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Travis Van S, $19.99. Hey, fellas, good discussion today. Eat some venison this week. Jesus is king. God bless.
There you go.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you, Travis.
But I am not poor enough to eat deer meat, so.
We had Marty Bingham come in at $9.99. Number 1, I'm working on my father-in-law's boat dock today, so I don't have a lot of time for jibber-jabber. But I wanted to throw y'all a little sandwich money anyway.
Well, we appreciate that, Marty. We appreciate that. Yeah, man. Anybody out there that's eating deer meat is poor as dirt. All right? Let me ask you this. Who in the crap is going to eat deer meat when they could be eating cow? Nobody is going to eat a piece of deer meat when they could be eating a ribeye steak off of a cow. And I mean, come on, man.
Chili spent hours in the woods trying to get some of that prize meat.
I got a freezer full over at the house. You can have it.
Let me ask you something.
He won't take it.
Let me ask you something. Do you don't like the taste, or you're making a point about being rich?
No, deer meat's terrible.
Well, it's not as good as a cow.
It's exactly. So
But-
who would eat it?
But you're just trying to make a point about being rich.
No, who would eat deer meat if they could afford to eat a cow?
That is what he's doing.
Cow is better, but I still eat the deer what I kill. I still eat the
Do
deer.
you like
Give
it?
that to the poors, man.
Do you like it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's
No,
a
you
cow-
don't, Corn.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Cow's
You-
better, but yeah.
yeah, exactly. Cow's
said-
better.
Yeah.
That's his line, yeah.
No, look. No deer hunters like deer meat. I mean, come on. Nobody out there is gonna eat a piece of deer meat and be like, "Oh boy, that's a good meat right
you
there."
ain't never had now smoked hind quarter?
Yeah, it's
tenderloin?
nasty.
No,
It's
that
all
stuff
of it's
is
nasty as
freaking
crap,
good,
man.
son.
Look. Let me tell you the reason all these hunters out here want to act like they like the meat. Because it just justifies them going out and killing these animals. They like hunting and killing the animal. They
said
don't
this the other
like
day.
the freaking
Oh,
meat.
I'll kill some stuff I ain't eating now, coon, and I'll smoke the far out of a coyote if I see it. A possum, armadillo gets a little too. While I'm hunting, I'll bust him too. and I ain't gonna eat none of them.
but you know, we put a deer on a higher level of consciousness. You know, we have our tiers in society of like animals that, you know, are you can run over a squirrel, but like if you kill a deer and don't eat it, like, oh, you know, look, man, don't nobody that hunts like that meat, man. They just saying that they sitting there chewing on that toughest leather, stinking, daggone rancid meat, like acting like they like it. They don't like that crap, man. They just do that so they can justify going out there and hunting and killing something. Look, I'm just telling you what nobody else on the internet's gonna tell you, man.
Corn said there was one killed down there that someone cut the back straps out and throwed it out.
Throw the rest of it out, yeah.
Good for him.
Well,
So somebody out there is at least getting just a little bit, you know.
what about elk? Is that
Elk,
different?
I don't know. I don't hunt elk.
I mean,
Well, I'm wanting to.
I don't hunt it, but
elk's more for the meat.
I have
Chad had a dream the other night that Cam Haynes was slicing elk, feeding it to him.
Yeah, but what? But
Just feeding him elk.
what state was Cam Haynes in?
Oh, he brought his elk down here.
No, I don't mean what 50 states Corn. I mean, what state of being was he in?
Oh, he was naked.
Oh, well, I have had one elk steak before in my life, and it was pretty good. But whitetail deer is just rancid.
Well, we had Marty Bingham come in again at 9.
Marty, I thought you were working on a boat dock, man.
Number 2, I can't think of anything clever to say because I'm doing stuff. So let's watch Blake pronounce. And he put this long, it's not even a word that I'm not going to pronounce. Thanks, Marty.
Thank you,
Well,
Marty.
that's screwed up, Marty. I'm sorry Blake didn't play along with that.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have did that, Marty.
you always read it as it's.
Yeah, you really do, Blake. You
Not when I can't read it.
kind of screwed
Didn't
that
Marty
up.
come back in at $9.99?
Yeah, Marty ain't never going to get that boat dock done.
I learned to spell that in the 6th grade and figure I could do it. I could do that. I had everything else covered and the rest of the year off. That didn't work out like I expected it to.
Thank you, Marty.
And then he come in at $4.99 and said, correction, took. Then we had Mike Sire come in at $9.99. Hey, guys, so glad I found this group at their gym now, getting my discipline back. See you all in May for basic course.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, thanks, Mike.
Neo-Amish dude, $10. Would share my strategy to make $1 million, but YouTube won't let me send a super chat encouraging tax fraud.
Well, no, I mean,
Do it.
you ain't lying. I mean, yeah, you ain't lying, brother.
Natty Ice gave a $1.99 super chat.
Thank you, Natty
Thank
Ice.
you, Natty Ice.
We had Oops come in at $5. I built a fence to keep things out, but now I wonder, what about?
Thank you, Oops.
Good word.
And then the last one is Subsoil. Come in at $1.99. He said, don't eat turtles. Happy holidays.
Subsoul.
There you go.
Corn to eat a turtle, but
That's a good name.
Yeah,
Subsoul.
it is. I like it.
well, all right, guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Have a good one. Enough said.